Welcome to your review on conjunctions. But first, here's a quick video.
As your body grows bigger,
your mind must power.
it's great to learn.
'Cause knowledge is power.
It's Schoolhouse Rock, the chip off the block of your favorite Schoolhouse Rock. You've been waiting for Conjunction Junction.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction junction, how's that function?
I got three favorite cards that get most of my job done.
Conjunction junction, what's their function?
I got and, but, and, or. They'll get you pretty far. And that's an additive like this and that. But that's sort of the opposite. Not this, but that. And then there's or. O-R. When you have a choice like this or that. And, but, and, or get you pretty far.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up two boxcars, making them run right. Milk and honey, bread and butter, peas and rice.
Hey, that's nice.
Dirty but happy, digging and scratching, losing your shoe and a button or two. He's poor but honest, sad but true. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up two cars to one when you say something like this. Choice, either now or later, or no choice. Neither now nor ever.
Hey, that's clever.
Eat this or that, grow thin or fat. Never mind, I wouldn't do that. I'm fat enough now.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up phrases and clauses that balance like out of the frying pan and into the fire. He cut loose the sandbags, but the balloon wouldn't go any higher. Let's go up to the mountains or down to the seas. You should always say thank you or at least say please.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up words and phrases and clauses in complex sentences like in the mornings when I'm usually wide awake, I love to take a walk through the gardens and down by the lake where I often see a duck and a drake. And I wonder as I walk by just what they'd say if they could speak. Although I know that's an absurd thought.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
Hooking up cars and making them function.
Conjunction junction, how's that function?
I like tying up words and phrases and clauses.
Conjunction junction, watch that function.
I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're very careful.
Conjunction junction, what's your function?
I'm going to get you there if you're
Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that and the song won't be stuck in your head for too many days. Okay, so moving on with conjunctions. They're very important because they help us connect words, phrases, and clauses, just like the video said. Two things that you want to make sure you are understanding before we even get started are the differences between an independent clause and a dependent clause. So an independent clause is another word for a complete sentence. You have to have a subject, so your noun or pronoun, you need to have a verb, and all of those things together need to express a complete thought. A dependent clause is a fragment. It's an incomplete sentence. So you might be missing the subject, your noun or pronoun. You might be missing a verb, or you could be missing that complete thought. And so when you are writing, you need to make sure that you always have an independent clause in a sentence. Because a dependent clause on its own, again, is a fragment. So let's do some practice. Look at the clauses and determine whether or not they are independent or dependent. Enjoy reading by the fireplace. That is not an independent clause. I don't know why that just came up on the screen. It's a dependent clause. We're missing our subject here. Who enjoys reading by the fireplace? So make sure on your notes you get rid of the IN. It is a dependent clause. Because I can't wait for the bus. That is another dependent clause. We don't know why that person can't wait for the bus. Okay, we need that complete thought at the end of the clause. Here's another example. Meredith fixed the leaky faucet by herself. That is independent. Hurricanes strengthen over warm waters. That is another independent clause. Until the sun sets. That is dependent. As the lights were dimming, we have another dependent clause. So let's take a look at coordinating conjunctions. So to help us remember the coordinating conjunctions, we have our mnemonic FANBOYS, standing for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. We also have comma rules that go along with our FANBOYS. So when you are connecting two independent clauses to make a compound sentence, you must include a comma before the conjunction. If you are going to be connecting an independent clause with a dependent clause, you do not separate them because that dependent clause relies on the independent clause in order to stand by itself. So let's take a look. We have my dog's collar is too big, so it occasionally comes off. Go ahead and based on the rules, add commas where necessary. Sally likes to go to the movies, but she cannot make it to tonight's show. The girls skipped and jumped at the park. I like pizza, but I don't like mushroom toppings. I like dogs, but not large ones. Tom went snowboarding, and he rode off a jump. And here's some more independent practice that you can do on your own. So now we're going to talk about subordinating conjunctions. Another mnemonic to help us is AAAWWUBBIS. Okay, and AAAWWUBBIS stands for after, although, as, when, while, unless, because, before, if, and since. These are some other subordinating conjunctions. There are a lot of them, but the AAAWWUBBIS are the most frequently used subordinating conjunctions. Just like FANBOYS, our AAAWWUBBIS conjunctions need comma rules, and these are a little bit more complex. So when there is a conjunction at the beginning of the sentence, you need a comma, a comma after the dependent clause. So here's an example. Because my coffee was too cold, comma, I heated it in the microwave. With subordinating conjunctions at the beginning of your sentence, it's nice because you hear that natural pause. Because my coffee was cold, comma, I heated it in the microwave. If you have your subordinating conjunction in the middle of the sentence, you do not include a comma. She returned the computer after she noticed it was damaged. Our conjunction is connecting the independent clause, she returned the computer, with our dependent clause, after she noticed it was damaged. Because our dependent clause comes after the independent clause, we do not want to separate them. So here's some more practice. Add commas where necessary. If you have time, will you visit Aunt Mary in New York? Unless you complete your homework, comma, you cannot watch Netflix. And number 3, we ate ice cream while Mom was cooking. In sentence 1, if is our subordinating conjunction, and it's starting our sentence. Therefore, we need to add a comma after that dependent clause. If you have time, comma, will you visit Aunt Mary in New York? Sentence 2, again, are subordinating conjunctions at the beginning. So here it reads, unless you complete your homework, comma, you cannot watch Netflix. And then finally, number 3, we have our subordinating conjunction in the middle of the sentence. We ate ice cream while Mom was cooking. Here we do not include a comma. I like her because she always has been nice to me. Although James likes to eat fish, he hates going fishing. Although the rain had ended, the sky still looked stormy. So in sentence 4, again, we are not separating our independent clause, I like her, from our dependent clause, because she has always been nice to me. In sentence 5, because our dependent clause is starting our sentence, we do need a comma after the dependent clause. Though James likes to eat fish, comma, he hates going fishing. And number 6, similarly to number 5, although the rain has ended, comma, the sky still looked stormy. Although is our subordinating conjunction beginning our sentence, therefore we need to have a comma after the dependent clause. Complete these exercises on your own.